Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very elated to have with us Ms. Shakedia Jones, founder and president of the Midwest Storm Track and Field. She's a local resident of WAUKEGAN High School and Warren Township High School. And she's going to bring us up to date. And if I may just mention here, she is an Olympian. And she's going to let us know about her history. We always talk about the history of Lake County, and she is included in that history. Good evening, Mrs. Jones.
Thank you. Good evening to you as well.
We're very happy, literally, that you've taken time from your busy schedule to be with us on the Community Forum to let Lake County know that you are a person that Lake County should know. Matter of fact, the world should know,
Yeah.
And they'll find out after we talk with you about your history.
Okay.
Now, I will be learning right along with my listening audience about Shakedia Jones. As a matter of fact, Lake County is approximately 750 to 800,000 people.
Yeah.
But Comcast Community Forum airs Lake County, Kenosha County,
Nice.
Cook County, and all over the world. Because if you have not been known all over the world, which you have been,
Yes.
been an Olympian,
Yes.
I'm gonna say you will be known now because it's shown online. But tell our listening audience a little bit about Shakedia Jones. I don't want to tell it all. I want you to tell it.
Oh, Shakedia Jones, born and raised in Waukegan, Illinois.
Okay.
My mom was 16 when she had me, and so she dropped out of school to take care of me. She worked 2 jobs, so I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house on George Avenue, the south side of Waukegan. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
And I have a lot of cousins, and we all grew up together. My oldest cousin is 6 years older than me, and so there were 4 boys first and then 3 girls. So the 3 of us were all born in 1979. I was born in March, the middle one was born in August, and the last one was born in Christmas Day, actually.
Oh.
So my grandmother went from having no granddaughters to having 3, all born in the same year. And so we didn't have money. So we used to just run around and make up games and go to King Park and do whatever we could to entertain ourselves.
Okay.
I played basketball. I thought that I was going to be a WNBA or WNBA Olympian. I swam. My next door neighbor had a pool, so I thought I was going to be an Olympic swimmer or an Olympic diver. However, that didn't work out. And then, as fate would have it, my cousin, his name is Shannon King, he was a high jump champion. He's actually still number 3 highest high jump at 7'3" in high school history. And so when we were little, he used to bet his friends $1 that I could beat them in a race. And so I would win, and he would give me 25 cents, and he would keep 75 cents. But at that time, we had penny candy, so like 25 pieces of candy sold. And as I got older, I said, man, you were hustling me too. I got to high school and never played an organized sport because we just didn't have the funds for it.
Yeah.
And he encouraged me to run track, and I didn't want to. I wanted to play softball because my mom played softball. And he had a rather convincing way of getting me to run track. And I asked him, I said, if you would stop harassing me, then I'll run.
Oh.
So it just so happened that I ended up not losing a race that year. I got to the state meet, and it was just another meet to me. And I won the indoor state in the 50 and the 200, and I won outdoor state in the 100 and the 200.
Now, this is as a freshman?
As a freshman, yeah.
At
Warren Township High School.
Okay.
Yeah, having no idea about track and field, just like, all right, let me just do it. Because I'm a competitor, so I have an opportunity to compete. I definitely want to dominate my competition. So we ended up moving to Waukegan my sophomore year. And there, I continued my state championships. So I won the 50 and 200 my sophomore, junior, and senior year indoor.
Wow.
The 100 and 200 my sophomore, junior, and senior year outdoor. And I added the 400 meter title because my club coach that I met my freshman year, he was like, we need to switch it up. We need to run something else in the summer after my sophomore year. And I was like, all right. So he said, let's run a quarter. I said, let's run the quarter. So I won that too. So I've completed my high school career with 17 state titles, which is the most in Illinois state history. So they're all individual titles. Never won a relay, never won a team title. And I had a teammate my junior year. Her name was Vanessa Johnson. She and I together finished second as a team at the state meet because I won the 1-2-4. She won the 100 hurdles. She placed in the long jump and the triple jump, and we finished second.
Now that record still stands?
Yeah. Yeah, so I hold the record. I broke Jackie
17
Jonah-Kersey's
medals.
record. Yeah, Jackie Jonah-Kersey had 16, I have 17.
She's from my hometown, East St. Louis.
She's from East St. Louis, and she's also a UCLA Bruin.
Ah.
So I was recruited by every school in the nation, and I was not going to stay in the cold. Like, that was not even an option. So I chose UCLA because of the weather, the Olympic tradition, and the name. I didn't know anyone who graduated from UCLA.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be really cool to say I graduated from UCLA. And all three of those factors have come true. I'm a graduate of UCLA. I have a degree in sociology. So it's cool when people ask me where I graduated from. I say UCLA, and they take a double take. Or, what?
Right.
So mission accomplished with that. The weather was amazing. 70, 80 degree Christmases as opposed to sub-zero here in Illinois.
Right.
And I became an Olympian while I was at UCLA. So the three reasons I chose UCLA all came to fruition.
It's my understanding, excuse me, that you ran on the same relay team as Marion Jones.
Yes.
See, people can identify. When I say Marion Jones, then they can identify.
Yeah, so my junior year in college, I went to the Olympic trials and made the U.S. Olympic team when I was 21. And we went to Sydney, Australia. We got to stay there for a month to get acclimated to the weather because it was, the seasons are reversed. So they were actually coming out of winter, going into spring. So I left California and it was 100 degrees.
Right.
And we went to Australia, it was 40 degrees.
Okay. Right.
And there, I was surrounded by the top athletes in every sport. It's the Olympics. And I met the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus.
Oh.
And there was the gymnast there at the time, Dominique Dawes. I watched her perform, and I actually got to meet her in person. They're so small. They're so small, but they're really cool. And just all of the people from the different countries, knowing how hard everyone worked to be there, it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had walking through opening ceremonies.
Boy, this is fantastic. And little did your cousin know that he was opening the door for you to be world known.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is
I make it a point to credit him because it took him to notice the talent in me for me to blossom that talent, and that talent has taken me around the world. So I have used that same source and become that same source and started a nonprofit furthering the lives of youth to do just that. And so what we do, we assist exceptional youth with limited resources. So we help high character children ages 8 to 18 that have gifts, talents, and passions but come from families that can't afford to maximize them. So I would have been a part of this had it existed when I was younger, because I was a straight A student all through school, because I didn't know how I was going to get out of Waukegan. I just knew that I was going to get out of Waukegan.
So this was really the initiative on your part.
Yes.
To do this.
Yeah, because motivation comes from everywhere. My motivation came when I was 7 years old. I was driving by the projects on the south side with one of my uncles, and I commented on how dirty it was that day. And he said, get used to it because you're going to be here for the rest of your life. And so my personality was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to prove you wrong. So every time I got tired, every time I didn't want to work out, every time I didn't want to do homework, I thought about what he said, and it gave me extra motivation to accomplish all the things that I accomplished. And moving forward, after that, fast forward, when I was graduating and having my party to go to UCLA, he was like, I always knew you'd be successful.
Oh.
And I just said, that's amazing, because you're the reason why I work so hard. Because you told me I would never leave. And of course, he didn't remember saying that. So, but I still use that as fuel to this day.
Well, another thing too, you were born to be a hero.
Thank you.
You know, there's no doubt about that. You can reflect back now and see, because now you mentioned about Jackie Joyner from East St. Louis.
Yeah.
She came back home and organized.
Yeah, so Jackie Joyner, fellow Bruin, she had a nonprofit. Well, she had a Boys and Girls Club. So it's called the Jackie Joyner Kersey Boys and Girls Club in East St. Louis.
Okay.
So while I was at UCLA, I used to go there every summer and intern.
Oh.
And I just thought it was amazing that she came back home and created that. And then another Bruin Olympian alumni, Gail Devers, she went to Atlanta and she had her own nonprofit. And I told myself, if I ever start a nonprofit, I would start at home, because I'd seen the blueprint from those two women, and they were so successful in the young people that they reached. So I came back home, I started this nonprofit, and I currently have 7 young people that we assist. We have Mia Hernandez, she's a cellist, so we bought her her own cello and bow. I didn't know how expensive instruments were until we had to do that for her.
Right.
Then there's Alana Lucas, she's a volleyball player. We helped fund her volleyball fees. Didn't know how expensive that was until we helped her. Then we have Brianna Gonzalez, who's also a volleyball player. We help with that. We have Clarissa Garcia, she's another musician, and she loves working with special needs students, so we created a partnership for her to have that experience and use her music as therapy, because she wants to be a music therapist. And then we have Malachi Turner, who actually lives in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He's a chess prodigy. He's 10. He is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I play chess, but I haven't played him yet. I don't want those problems, because he is brilliant. And so we were able to fly him up and give him chess lessons with the #1 chess guru in the United States, who actually lives in Illinois. And so he had that 2 hours of chess lessons, and it was amazing. And finally, we have Janai Jenkins, who goes to Warren Township, and she's a track and field athlete. So she and I spent a lot of time together, because she trains with me in the summer, because I now have entered into the realm of summer track and field.
Well, you know, you have started what you call the Midwest Storm Track Club.
Yeah, the Midwest Storm Track and Field Club. So I got into coaching 2 years ago because a friend of mine's husband, Derek Lee, he called me and asked me if I would be interested in coaching. I had been offered before, but I had never had any interest, and I just didn't have the time. But he had come off of a personal tragedy, and I told him, I said, yeah, I'll do it, let's try it. So I have the boys, I coach the boys sprinters and hurdlers at Zion Benton Township High School. And our first year was so successful. We went to state, and they had the experience. They didn't even think they were good enough to go, but I instilled my confidence into them. And we qualified 2 relays, a 200-meter runner, and a thrower. And so my 200-meter runner had never ran before. He was a basketball player who came out for track, and he finished 7th at the state meet. His name is Cortez Sawyer. And it just built the momentum for the next season. So I came back, just finished my 2nd season, and we had another phenomenal season. However, the weather was just terrible.
Tell me about it.
Horrible. So many of our track meets were canceled due to weather because Zion doesn't have an indoor track.
Okay.
And there was just not enough time or weather to permit for a lot of the meets to be made up.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the Midwest Storm Track Club because I ran for the Aurora Flyers when I was in high school. So I used to commute to Aurora 3 or 4 times a week to train.
Wow.
And then I would travel with them to compete wherever we were. And while I was with the Flyers, I ended up winning 2 national championships. So I was the first athlete from Illinois to ever win a title, and I won it twice.
Wow.
And so what the Flyers did for me was give me an opportunity to meet different people from the state of Illinois and then move on to compete and make friends that I'm still friends with to this day from different states.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted the Midwest Storms to do that for the young people. We have a team of 30, and they range from the ages of 7 to 18. And it's just really cool to see the bonds they're creating and them fall in love with track and then to enjoy the competition. And I'm very, very proud of them. I have an amazing coaching staff. Barry Kimbrough with the throws, and Tavares Thomas and Dorsey Christian, they help with the sprints and the hurdles. So we just have a phenomenal team, and we have an amazing group of parents who support us.
This is important, getting the parents to
Yes,
support. You know?
yes.
And so you, the overall objectives is furthering the lives of youth.
Yes.
Nonprofit, yeah.
That's overall, that's what I do. I tell everyone who will listen, this is what I was called to do.
Okay.
Like, I'm grateful every day to be able to know my purpose and to live it every day. And so everything I do, that's why my summer is so crazy, because I go to track meets and I go to music performances and I go to volleyball games. And I have a daughter, and she's in the Elite Striders drill team. She's traveling all over the place and practicing. I actually have practice right now, but I came here to promote everything that we do. So for the Midwest Storm, we have a exhibition track meet this upcoming Monday at 5 p.m. at Zion Benton. And so it's just an opportunity for kids who may be fast or may think they're fast to just come out and compete and see if they like it. And then they get to see the kids that I work with and other competitive kids and just get out there and run and have a good time. So it's really, really to promote track and field. And we have a race that's going to be called the Shrimp 50, which means that it's going to be for kids 5 and under. So they're going to get on the track and they're going to race each other and see who wins, see who's the fastest. So that's going to be pretty amazing. And we just had our state championships last weekend, and we had a lot of kids qualify for regionals, which is next weekend in Muncie, Indiana. And once they qualify through Muncie, we're going to go to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Boy, how did you get involved with boys sprint coaching at Zion Benton High School?
It's nothing but God.
Okay.
With Derek Lee, who was the head coach, he and I went to church together.
Oh, okay.
And I absolutely adored his wife. His wife's name was Avion, and unfortunately, she's passed on.
Oh.
So he reached out to me. I told him I would help on this because of her. And I love the male athletes. They know what they want, and they're willing to work for it. And they're just great guys, and they're going to be amazing men. And I tell them all the time, being a great athlete is one thing, but I care that you're going to be a great mate. I care that you're going to be a great father. Like, those are the things I care about. So it's amazing. It's great to have them.
You took time to accept an invitation to be the graduation speaker at your alumni of Waukegan Township High School, right?
I did.
That was this year?
That was this year.
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah. The principal extended an offer to me, and I accepted. I thought it'd be something cool to do. And it was freezing cold that day. I think it was the coldest day of the summer thus far. So I was sitting on the stage shivering and shaking, and the person that spoke before me was speaking for longer than he should have been speaking.
Okay.
And so I had 30 minutes, but I'm a sprinter by trade, so I wasn't going to say 30 minutes anyways, but I gave a speech of inspiration. I didn't write it down. Every time I speak, I just pray, and I pray that God gives me the words to share, so whoever needs to hear it, hears it. And I guess it was amazing, because everyone that was in attendance and who weren't in attendance come up to me still today and say, that's the best graduation speech I've ever heard. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. It's been great for you to come back to your alumni to be asked to.
Yeah, I mean, it was an honor. It was definitely an honor, and I'll be doing work with Waukegan High School. We're actually going to put together a life fair, because there are so many things that these young people aren't learning and don't know. And when they go off into the real world, they receive that shock. And so I want to help curb that, because it's not easy out here. I was blessed to have a talent and a skill which afforded me to get paid to do that and to travel the world and really have no real responsibility until I became a mom. But for majority of the population, they don't have those opportunities. So we're partnering with another group, Women in the Know, and stay tuned. It's going to happen this fall with Waukegan High School with the seniors and juniors initially, to teach them life skills, life preparedness for once you get out of high school, financial literacy, budgeting. I had so many conversations with high school students, being that I'm in high school now with the boys, and I am amazed or shocked by how much they do not know. Yeah.
Some words of wisdom then you would give the class of 2018.
Be great. Try everything. Travel, I told them, travel, fall in love, break up with people, fall in love again. Like, life is all about opportunities, and there's no, from what I've discovered, there's no wrong way. Meaning if you go to school, think you want to be a lawyer or an attorney, and you become that and you're unhappy, there's nothing that says you can't shift the course and find something that you're passionate about and then make that your career. That's why, so also this summer, in my Whirlwind Summer, I'm partnering up with Willie Brooks, Furthering the Lives of Youth, and Willie Brooks are partnering up together for a fun day in the park. So that's something else that I do, is just create a fun environment so kids can come out, have fun. We provide food, games, prizes, and they just get to just be kids with no worry about cost or anything else. And that'll be that's Monday, July 16th at Shiloh Park in Zion. So Willie and I are working hard for that, and we're just excited for the kids.
It's amazing how you meet up with people to enhance the things that that you want to do. Now, Willie Brooks is the one that referred me to you. Of course, I knew you from way back. It's not the first time you've been on the program. I read about you in the newspaper, Waukegan News Sun, about the outstanding runner that you were and so forth. But he called me the other night. I called you right away. I think maybe the same night. Yes, and I want to get her and see if we could enhance the programs that you're doing to let Lake County know. And I mentioned that because Lake County had a program called Juneteenth. Just a couple of weeks ago, and you should have been contacted to be a speaker there too.
I was asked to attend.
Oh, you were?
However, we had a track meet that weekend.
Okay.
So I've received the most influential community service award this year. I was unable to attend because I had a nonprofit event,
Okay.
I received the Black Diamond Community Award this year. I was unable to attend because I had a nonprofit event. So to everyone out there, if you invite me to an event and honor me, I am grateful. However, my nonprofit children will always come first.
Now tell us about your nonprofit. How can people in the community in Lake County get involved?
There are several ways.
I know you're saying, I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad you asked. There are several ways. The first way is to nominate an exceptional youth, because that's how we get these kids. We know they exist, but we need help finding them. And I know so many young people like myself, like I would like to think someone would have nominated me, the younger version of me. And that's first and foremost, nominate these young people so we can help them. Because we're actually going to nominate another young person soon. So, I can't reveal her name yet because we haven't had our induction ceremony. And secondly, they can partner with us, create opportunities for our kids to volunteer, or they can come uplift and meet our young people. And lastly, donations are always amazing.
Now, how can they get those donations to you? You have a website?
Yeah, we have a website. We have PayPal. We have a Facebook page. It's flyyouth.org@gmail.com for PayPal. It's Furthering the Lives of Youth on Facebook. Our website, we just changed it, so that name's a little more complicated, but the link is on my page, Shakedia Jones, on Facebook, and it's on our page on Facebook. And then we got a P.O. Box 861, Waukegan, Illinois, 60079. And you can just find me and write me a check on the spot. All those things work.
Now, Lake County should be especially proud of you, and especially Waukegan and Zion, though. The contribution that you and your T-shirt says, furthering the lives of youth.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And this is so. And you mentioned about you were just so shocked and at the challenges that the youngsters face in school now because they're not learning the way they should.
Yeah. It's humbling. It's infuriating. It's
amazing.
It's amazing. That's the word we're going to use. It's just amazing. It was bad when I was at Waukegan, and it somehow has gotten worse.
It was even bad even while you were there.
Yeah, especially from the athletic perspective. So there were, even during my time, there were so many talented athletes. We'll just speak on the male athletes for the sake of conversation now. So many talented male athletes. They were allowed to not go to class, not take tests, but because they were talented, they were just passed along. So when it came time for them to take tests to get into college, you need a 17 on the ACT to qualify for an NCAA scholarship. So they weren't even able to score that 17 because they never had to go to class and they never had to do any classwork.
And people scoring 20s and 25 and so forth.
So all of those scholarships are now gone, and all of the assistants from these high schools are gone too. So you use these male athletes up until you can't use them up anymore, and then when they don't have the grades or the test scores, oh, sorry for you. And that's what I fight at Zion too. It's a different dynamic now. At Zion, so many young people, boys in particular, are told to specialize in one sport, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Because it's important to do multiple sports to hone in on different skill sets. And who knows, you may be more talented in this sport than in this sport, but the culture is being created to allow these coaches who weren't professionals in their sports and pretty much don't know what they're talking about to tell these boys what to do, and then when their seasons are done, they don't have anything for them. So in my case, track and field is in the spring, so the boys who thought they were going to be NCAA football players who don't even get a scholarship offer, now they come to track and field as seniors hoping to get a scholarship. And sadly, the odds of that happening are slim to none. And the same thing is happening with basketball players. And there isn't a reality. So if you're 5'2", and you're not that fast, the odds of you being a professional football player or basketball player are pretty slim to none. But they're not getting these reality conversations. They're just told to focus at this time, and it's just not realistic for these athletes.
So this is the type of peer group that you were associated with when you were in.
Yeah. So I saw it happen when I was in high school, and I see that it's worse now because those athletes, at least when I was in high school, played multiple sports.
Okay, yes, right.
Now they only play one sport, and they put and these parents think that their child's going to be the next superstar in that sport, and it's just unrealistic. And so when, like I said, when their seasons are over and there are no scholarship offers, these coaches aren't fighting to get these kids scholarships. I fight to get my kids scholarships. I have an athlete now, right? When I met you today, I was on the phone with a college coach finalizing a scholarship for him. I have another athlete who just finished his freshman year, and he can call me. He was having a scholarship issue, and I told him how to fix it. So that's what I do. It's not just about the sport. It's about how do we use the sport to propel you to other things.
We have to admire you for the initiative, again, I might say, in promoting the advancement of the boys and girls that you're working with.
Yeah, thank you.
It's based on your initiative. And if more of the instructors, if more of the staff, if more of the teachers would do that, then we'll have less people dropping out of school. Yeah. You know, and suspended, expelled, and so forth, because we know at the other end of the tunnel what's there for them. Yes. You know. Now, what are some of the barriers you may say the reason that teachers are not using their initiative to help the kids in school? Some of the coaches that I work with are teachers. So institutional support is an issue. A lot of them become apathetic as a result. So they work so hard, and then they try to come up with new and creative ideas, but then the school boards or the principals are saying, oh, well, we just don't have the funds, so. And then it's a lot of politics, as with anything. There are politics in sports, so I don't want anyone to think that doesn't exist. But people are just, a lot of people are in their professions just to collect paychecks now. So they don't genuinely care when they should, and as long as they get their paycheck, and as soon as that bell rings, they're gone. In other words, the majority, well, could you say this, that the majority of the teachers live outside of the school area where the kids are attending? Oh, that's absolutely true. Most of the teachers live outside of the city, some outside of the state, so they don't engage in the community. They don't understand the nuances that the kids have to go through, some just to get to school. You know, having to leave school or not be able to play sports because they have brothers and sisters that they have to take care of that shouldn't be their responsibility, but it is. And so growing up, I've seen it from both sides, because I was living around young people, amazing people who could have and should have been more successful, but they didn't have the guidance. And then the people that were guiding them genuinely didn't know what they were talking about. So, you know, but you look up to someone and you believe that they know what they're talking about. And most adults aren't honest enough to say, I don't know. They aren't honest enough to say that and then refer that child to someone who does know. You know, it's a lot of ego. It's all to the detriment of the kids. That's just how that. You have a heavy load on your shoulder. And it's through prayer, I'm sure, that you're dealing with it. You know, God is using you, and I just congratulate you and just what you're doing.
Thank you. I mean, he chose me because he knows I'm resilient, and he knows that I won't stop. I'm tenacious, and I get things done. You know, there are so many people that talk about things, talk about helping, talk about this, and then they watch all these terrible things happen. Very few people do something about it.
I'm just thinking about the initiative that you're using for your boys and your girls.
Yeah.
But what did you tell me about family support?
That's important in pretty much everything. I'm amazed, like the track meets, there are a few families that show up and support their sons for high school, and then a lot of
even
families,
though their children are excelling,
even though their children
they
are
still
excelling,
don't show up to support.
They do not.
Amazing.
Yeah, and the looks on their faces when their parents are there and their families are there, like it makes a world of difference to them. I don't know what that's like. My mom was at every meet.
Okay.
Every meet in high school and college that she could make it to. Every NCAA championship, my mom was there. She found a way. Every high school meet, my mom was there. She was my number 1 supporter, so she was the loudest person in the crowd, of course.
Right.
And she would try to record my races, but that didn't work out because the video would be jumping up and down because she's jumping up and down. So, I mean, I didn't appreciate it until now because I assumed every parent was like that. But going through this, it shows that they aren't. And it really makes a difference. And with my nonprofit, all of the parents are involved with their children, which is why they're also exceptional. And then with the summer track club, the Midwest Storm, the parents are helping me spearhead this event on Monday for our fundraiser, our exhibition meet. So I'm just blessed. I am blessed to have a great group of parents in both groups that I've started. Like the parents are amazing.
Because the contributions are vitally needed, right?
Yeah, because there are parents that can't afford certain things, and so the parents that are able to are stepping up and helping to cover costs of other kids, which is amazing. And for me, I made every coach on my staff sponsor a child. So we have 5 coaches. 5 coaches sponsored 5 children that weren't our own. Okay. Because it was important to give someone else an opportunity. That was important to me. So we have 5 kids that probably wouldn't be able to be on the Midwest Storm this summer that are competing with us and doing exceptionally well because I made my coaches sponsor them.
If I could get a little boost in here for students in Waukegan High School that have excelled. I picked North Chicago, although you're teaching in Zion.
I don't teach. I just coach there.
Oh, coach, okay.
Yeah, no.
I get that straight.
Yeah, no.
Because you saw the peer groups in the school.
Yeah.
You don't think you'd like to be?
I won't say that. What the guy that I serve has me doing, I can't be contained in a classroom.
Okay, right.
I'm all over the place all the time. Right. So I need the freedom to be able to maneuver.
Right. I just want to mention just a few names that from Waukegan High School that were excel. And you may know, you mentioned you lived on George Avenue.
Yes.
At that time. Another star lived on George Avenue, Robert B. Evans Sr.
Yes.
A champion. Was he a state champ wrestler? I think he's a state champ.
I think he was. Yeah. But a quick note on Robert Evans is, as much as I've accomplished, the city of Waukegan had never given me credit for it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I was leading up to.
The city of Waukegan I don't know.
In a
I don't get
newspaper
it.
highlighted you. They had a whole page
Yeah,
about you
but
there.
Robert Evans was instrumental and adamant that I was in the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame. So I didn't get into the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame until maybe 10 years ago. And I've been out of school for almost 21 years. And I went into the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame with people that I went to high school with that weren't even talented, but they were the kids of Waukegan officials.
Okay.
So as much as I've accomplished, I'm the only one to accomplish the things that I've accomplished, period, in the state. I'm still not even in the Lake County Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Because it takes a athletic director to nominate me, and the one that was at Waukegan never got around to it for his own personal reasons, I guess.
I would never give up on that because
I mean,
you're Olympian, and how many Olympians do we have?
none.
Okay, none. Okay.
None. Which is why Waukegan, I'm from Waukegan, and I'd love to say that, but the reciprocation of what they should have been doing for me
Okay.
is non-existent. I mean, that's just the honest truth.
Because it would be encouraging to other youth to know that we have a person at the top of the line.
Yeah,
And I want to be Olympian too.
you're right.
I want to strive to do the things. What is the criteria? And
Yeah.
I want to strive to be. It can be done. in other
Yeah,
words,
so Shakedia Jones is not in the Lake County Hall of Fame, and there are a lot of non-athletes that are, so fun fact.
Well, it's good I brought the Robbie Evans name up first. You know.
Fantastic man, rest in peace.
Another one is Calhoun. I don't remember his first name, but he's a professional basketball player. But you never hear about him. There have been a professional football player that was from North Chicago, I think. Professional football player, played with the Seattle Seahawks, I guess it was.
Okay.
You know, Reverend Jimmy Williams, of course, encouraged the first championship. Well, I say championship, but professional boxer.
Nice.
And I got his name, but the audience listening know that the boxing that Jimmy Williams coach is highlighted. Lee England, a violinist.
Mm-hmm.
He's a professional violinist, travels all over the world.
Nice.
You know, but you never hear about Lee England. You know, Dr. Eugene King, of course. Bradshaw Range, I guess, a funeral home. They know about that. The first African American funeral home director in Lake County. So now that's just a few that I've named,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that you mentioned about, in your case, you have not been highlighted as of this date
As of this day,
into the Lake County
into the Lake County Sports Hall of Fame.
Sports Hall of Fame.
And there is no other Olympian from Lake County. Marinate on that. Yeah. There's no other state champion with 17. All of the state champions I know aren't even in the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame, nor are they in the Lake County Hall of Fame, which is why I'm saying, but there are people who are contributors that are.
Okay. Well,
So,
maybe someone listening to this program will
yeah, I just outed all of you. So
know
yes.
the right people to contact. You may let me know the right person to contact
Okay.
and see if we can get something brought to their attention.
Oh, they're fully
I know
aware.
they already
They're fully
aware.
aware. They just don't care. I mean,
That's
it's either two
amazing.
things: you don't know or you don't care.
The
And they know.
your ultimate destiny of African American youth in Lake County. Do you see? What do you see their destiny is?
It's pretty grim. As a South Sider, growing up on the South Side, we had the YMCA that was on Sheridan Road, that is now the Boys and Girls Club. And the newer structures that they're building for the Park District are further and further north or in Beach Park.
Okay.
So how are these kids supposed to get to these locations?
Okay.
And they have all these buses parked at Belvedere like they always have, and they're not transporting kids from the South Side to the new field that they built. They're not transporting them to the field house. So it's a structure that's being built to contribute to the haves and not include the have-nots. That's what Waukegan is doing. And it's so many opportunities that are being missed.
We're bringing this to our listening audience attention, not to criticize, but to see if we can get some listeners to uplift and say, we're going to make a change here.
Right.
And we're going to look at the classrooms in the schools and see if there's instructors in the classrooms that look like the students.
Not many.
You know, it's my understanding that in a few of the schools that they could say don't have many.
Yep.
And so the students are looking at this, administrators and even less in the schools. So then we look at the disciplinary problems, even down to the elementary grades.
Yeah.
Why do we have so many disciplinary problems? Well, that may be one of the reasons there.
I'm a sociologist by degree. So I got a degree in sociology from UCLA, and I can tell you that school districts get checks for kids who have behavioral problems.
Oh, okay.
So the more behavioral problem kids you have, the more checks you get. So if you diagnose someone as being ADD or ADHD, which didn't even exist 20-something years ago, but now all these terms are prevalent and popular. But if you have kids diagnosed as such or special learning skill needs, the school district gets a check.
Wow.
Amazing, huh?
Now that is a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So I want you to think about that. So you will see more ADHD, ADD, whatever they want to name these children to be. You'll see more and more of them because that's money.
Well, if I can just make a note there before I go ahead. My daughter was a principal at Forsyth School.
Okay.
And Forsyth School got the highest rating in the county about the as far as the learning. They call it the learning of the school of kids, and she didn't even get recognized by her own Board of Education. She even got recognized by President Obama through some organization had recommended her, and the president, he gave her, invite her to Washington, D.C. Now, this along with my wife, she had already, in 2010,
nice.
President Obama invited her to get...
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, for the work that she's doing in North Chicago. And that's North Chicago didn't recognize her.
Amazing how that works.
But the president recognized her. Okay. And anyway, back to my daughter, she got the highest in the county, and I think the second highest in the state, and not even recognized by the school district.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the problem. We need to do better. Coming back, there are people in positions that are voted in because people don't vote. And so I tell people, you can't complain if you are apathetic and don't contribute to this. So a lot of people can be replaced.
Why is this, though, that people don't vote? Like I think in North Chicago, and I'm not placing it, you know.
I understand.
But I lived in the city there. But, 70%, maybe 80% is renter occupied. So that may be one of the reasons why they are not concerned.
It's the apathy.
Yeah.
It's apathy. I have this saying, apathy, ignorance, and poverty are all diseases of habit. Because you can change either one if you want to.
Okay.
Like I tell people, you can't be ignorant with a smartphone in your hand.
Okay.
Like anything you want,
okay.
You can just plug it into your phone. And so many people that I talk to that don't vote say their vote doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I know some aldermanic seats have been won in North Chicago with 7 votes.
You may, yeah, that was
It's just amazing.
The whole Lake County know about that.
Yeah. So every vote counts, and there's no more time for excuses. The time is now to make a difference.
Okay. And Shakedia, you are making a difference. The importance of, let's say, you're in track and field.
Yes.
The importance of track and field, and I think you mentioned about you never know.
You never know.
Now, you excelled in track and field, and it led to sky's the limit.
Yeah, traveling the world. I had a Nike contract, so I was being paid to run by Nike, getting stipends from the United States.
Okay.
And doing this all for free.
Okay.
Because I had a talent that my cousin saw in me and that I pursued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And led me to be here today.
Okay. And so it's no accident.
There's no accidents.
Willie Brooks, no Ken, was excited about having me call you to be on the program.
Yeah.
So I thank Willie Brooks for alerting me about you, because I knew about you, but I didn't know where you were involved in the things that you're involved in.
Yeah, every weekend since the middle of May, every weekend since the end of April, I've been busy doing something with track and field or the nonprofit, my daughter's drill team. So all my weekends have been gone, and they're gone through, lastly, my nonprofit, we had an essay competition amongst the members to write about an experience they'd like to have or a place they'd like to visit. And the winning essay was written by Brianna Gonzalez to go on a trip of a lifetime to LA. So we're actually taking all the kids in our nonprofit to Los Angeles, August 6th through the 9th, to do everything on Brianna's list. Fantastic. So most of them haven't even been out of the state nor on an airplane. So it's going to be pretty amazing.
Right. You have here Whirlwind Summer. Tell about Whirlwind Summer.
Yeah, that's just pretty much it. Everything has been nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
With my daughter just graduated 8th grade, boys track and field, the Midwest Storm, the nonprofit competitions, volleyball games, recitals. I have a sister who is now here for the summer to run for me for my summer track club. So last weekend I had 4 girls in the house, 4 teenage girls for the whole weekend to go back and forth to the track meets with me so that their parents wouldn't have to worry about transporting them.
Okay.
So I call myself the cool aunt of the group. So it's just been nonstop. So there's never a dull moment with me. I had a church member say to my daughter, remember, tell your mom church is every Sunday. And to that I say, the God that I serve has me working every day, like every day. Mm-hmm. So kudos to everyone who can just go to church on Sunday, but I'm working every day doing God's work. Yeah,
and we may say this, though, that, and the audience may know of cases like this, too, that we're here on this earth to help others.
Yes.
As you have done the least of them, you've done unto me.
Yeah.
I had one of the principals was telling me that the district said they were having difficulty in finding African American teachers to come to this area. So what he did, he has rent out apartments, and he had a person, not only apartments, I think one of the teachers he invited from Louisiana to come and live in his home with his wife until she found a place. And I know another superintendent did the same thing, had someone come in and live with her, another teacher, until she found a place.
That's nice.
So this type of thing that we have to do. The wife and I started and you're probably familiar with it too, the Brooks Foundation Scholarship that we give $5,000 a year to graduating seniors.
Yeah.
To go to, And you probably didn't know about that when you graduated from high school, right?
No, had no idea.
It has to be promoted from within.
All of these things have to be. There are so many scholarships that go unclaimed because we just don't know about them.
Right.
And they are from local fraternities and sororities. And so what I do, I access all of them and disseminate the information to every person I know that qualifies.
Right. Well, for those that may be listening to the program, I do have a list of about 50 scholarships, a list that go unclaimed each year.
You can send that to me also.
Okay.
So I can help make
I'll do that.
take that off of the list for our kids.
I'll make a note. But of course, they have to be, let's see, I got 50 here that I'll send to you.
Because what I experienced is there in public settings, like if you and I were out and we were talking and there was a person engaging us, they would say they'll make a donation to me.
Okay.
But then when I follow up, no answer, no response. And it's
okay.
cool.
Well, you can count on me though. If I made a note here that to send you a copy. Have a copy of the list there.
Cool.
Of course, the student have to exhibit some effort in email.
Absolutely.
And so, but at least you'll see that they're available.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Shakedia, we're very happy that Lake County know who Shakedia Jones is. You're founding president of the Midwest Storm Track and Field.
Yes.
Of course, that's self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
Midwest Storm Track and Field.
Yeah.
And where you're trying to further the lives of youth, not profit.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Shakedia Jones, and we hope that you have been benefited for the information that has been promulgated to you this evening. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr. This has been Community Forum. See you next week.